Here's 5 ancient Chinese fable stories that you should know. First, an old man lost his horse. Once upon a time in ancient China, there was an old man lived near the border close to the Han territory. One day, one of his horses escaped his pen and ran into the Han territory. When his neighbor heard of this, they come to his house and comfort him. But the old man remained calm and said to them, "How can't this be considered as a good thing?" Several days later, to everyone's surprise, the old man's horse returned, bringing with it a splendid wild horse. The neighbors heard about this, come to his house, congratulated him for his fortune. But the old man said to them, "How can this be considered as a bad thing?" The old man's son loved riding horses. One day, when he was riding the wild horse, he fell off and broke his leg. The neighbors heard about this. Again, they come to old man's house and show their sympathy. The old man again remained calm and said to them, "How can't this be considered as a good thing?" 1 year later, Hans launched a massive invasion. Every well-bodied young man lived near the border, signed into the army, and after a great battle, almost all of them were dead. But the old man's son was crippled, so he wasn't in the army. In the end, old man and his son all survived. This was the story of an old man lost his horse. In China, actually, this title has a second part. It translates to "Misfortune may be a blessing in disguise." The second story, pulling up seedlings to help them grow. Long time ago, there was a man. He was dissatisfied about the growing of his crops. He thinks they grow too slow. So one day he went to the field and pulled up all the seedlings by his hand so they looked taller. Exhausted, he went back home and said to his family, I've really worn out myself today. But at least all the crops were growing fast. Feeling a bit strange, his son went to the field to see by his own. All the crops were dead. Few people in the world avoid the mistake of pulling up seedling to help them grow. Those who blindly try to help crops grow like this man, causing harm instead of benefit. Waiting for the rabbit. Once upon a time, there was a man who had a really fertile field and he worked hard to have a harvest. And in his field, there was a tree stump where he would always use to sit to relax when he felt tired. One day when he was working the field, a rabbit came out of nowhere and accidentally hit this tree stump and died. The man rushed over in surprise. What a lucky day, he thought. I get one rabbit for free. And as he carried the rabbit home, he started thinking, if I get one rabbit a day for every day in the rest of the days, I won't need to be working so hard. So from the next day on, he stopped working. He just stand there waiting for another rabbit to stumble in the tree stump. Days passed, the field was overgrown with weeds, but there was no rabbit anymore. Story number 4. The Frog in the Well. Once upon a time there was a frog living in a deep well. The frog spent his entire life living in the well, and he believed that that small portion of sky that he can see under the well is all of the world. One day another frog lived in the nearby pond, visited the frog in the well, and the other frog told the frog about the limitless sky and the pond, and the trees and mountains beyond. But the frog in the well was skeptical. He doesn't believe all that because to him the well is the whole world. And he argued that he could not see anything outside, so there was nothing outside. The visitors tried to persuade him to come out the well and see the world himself. But the frog won't listen. He just satisfied in his little well and keep on thinking that's just the whole world. He remained trapped in the well and his narrow-mindedness didn't change. He lived his life without realizing how big the world is and all the beautiful things in the world. Story number 5. Lord Ye loves dragons. Legend has it, a man was the governor of the county Ye, so everybody just call him Lord Ye. Lord Ye often tells people how much he loves about dragons. That those dragons are capable of summoning rains and thunders. The dragons can transform themselves into different sizes, big and small. He loved the dragons so much that he decorated his house with dragons everywhere. The pillars were carved with dragons. The roof was painted with dragons. The steps were painted with dragons. That he can see anytime, anywhere in his house, with all the furnitures and everything in the gardens, is all about dragons. And he named all his children with dragons. Big dragon, second dragon, a dragon girl. And the real dragons in the heaven realm heard about this man, and they were deeply moved that in the mortal world there's a man that loves dragons so much that they will pay him a visit and give him a blessing to show their gratitude for all the love and the worship. One day, when Lord Ye was taking a nap, suddenly a strong wind and the rainstorm started to arouse, with lightnings and thunders. Lord Ye woke up in panic and quickly approached the window to see what's going on. Just at that second, the real dragon sticked his head through the window. Lord Ye was instantly terrified. He stood there numbness, lost all his wits, wanted to run away from the real dragon. But as he turned around, he saw an enormous dragon tail was behind him. That leaves him nowhere to go, nowhere to run. So he turned pale and fainted out of fear, lying unconscious on the ground. The real dragon was disappointed and also feeling puzzled. He claimed that he loved the dragon so much, but when he saw the real dragon, he just paralyzed with fear. So with disappointment, the real dragon returned to the heaven realm. But in fact, Lord Ye was not into real dragons. He just liked things that look like dragons and things that can use to show off to other people. Now you have it, 5 ancient Chinese fable stories. Tell me if you like them or not, and if you want to have more of this content in this channel, please leave a comment below. And if you want to learn more about Mandarin and Chinese culture, please. So now you have it, 5 ancient Chinese fable stories. If you like these kind of stories, please leave your comments below, and I can make more videos about them. And if you want to learn more about Mandarin, you can check my watch list. I put it right here. If you want to learn more, you can book a call with me through the email I linked in the description. Have a nice day and see you in the next video.